What's up, y'all? It's Ty. In this video today, we're going to be going over ranking our top 10 centers right now in NBA 2K25 MyTEAM from 10 all the way up to number 1. Now, I do want to give some honorable mentions real quick to some cards that I personally don't mind, especially for their prices, but that didn't make the cut. Like Brad Miller, I actually like him, especially for his price. He could not quite make the list. Some other guys like Joakim Noah, he was on the power forward list. Bob McAdoo on the power forward list. Pink Diamond D-Rob, I think is an honorable mention here. I don't hate the card, but could not quite make the cut. So if there is anybody that I left off that you personally really do like, even like a Miles Turner, honorable mention. I don't hate the card, but doesn't quite make our top 10. So hopefully that helps you guys out. Also, watch the power forward list. Watch all the other lists so you guys aren't like, well, Ty, Giannis Antetokounmpo, why is he not on the list? Well, guess what? Pink Diamond Giannis was on the power forward list. So that's what's to know. We're going to start off here at number 10 with Jack Sigma. If you know with Jack Sigma, you know the card is an absolute stud, an absolute beast. 6'11", shoots the ball incredibly well with a great release, hot spots from both corners. The KSP release is fantastic. His player build is fantastic. Do I wish his speed was higher? Absolutely. That is one thing for this Jack Sigma card that, I mean, everybody should wish for, is that his speed was a little bit higher, but that doesn't mean the card still is not a beast. Good rebounding, obviously incredibly good shooting the basketball. To me, the pros definitely outweigh the cons with Jack Sigma coming in here at number 10. Now, if he was slightly better defensively, he'd be up to maybe, you know, number 4, number 5, but right now, got him down here at number 10. He's fine though. Still a card that if you pick up, you probably will like quite a bit. At my number 9, it's Patrick Ewing, who defensively might be one of the better cards on this entire list. I need you guys to hear me out. Defensively, one of the better cards in this entire list. Stat-wise, can't get much better. But the Patrick Ewing release on slow leaves a lot to be desired. It leaves a lot to be desired, and maybe I'll end up higher on Patrick Ewing if I actually use the card, but that Pat Ewing base on slow, to me, is tough to get past. Like, again, I don't hate Patrick Ewing, but, you know, when you're talking about a release on slow, that's tough to get past. It genuinely is. So for me, that's where I'm at with Patrick Ewing. I mean, number 9 to me is the right spot for the card. Again, if you can green consistently with him, if you can get his shot up, maybe higher, because defensively, card is absolutely elite. Now, I know Galaxy Open Kareem's coming soon, but for now, at number 8, we're plugging in Pink Diamond Kareem. Now, a lot of people might not think Kareem should be this high, and I'm willing to listen to people who do believe that. However, he is still 7'2". He has the ability to shoot the ball, and defensively, the card is still going to be elite. So, in those people's defense, when I used Kareem, I honestly didn't love the card. I sold him not quite long after, but Kareem is still 7'2". He still has the ability to shoot the basketball. He is still, going to be incredible on the defensive side of the ball, and you should be able to find one that is slightly souped up. Now, am I saying Kareem is the best, center in the game? No, but I think if you pick up Kareem, he is going to be okay at the center position, and honestly, I think, shooting the ball, him compared to Patrick Ewing, I don't know. Like, genuinely, I don't know who is better shooting the basketball, him compared to Patrick Ewing. And so that's why I'm plugging in Kareem here at my number 8. At my number 7, plugging in Jaren Jackson Jr. Now, I've thought about it for a second. I'm like, do I just want to put Jiren in here at the power forward position? I'm like, no. With what he does on the floor, he's got to be in here. Now, I will say this. I do like Jaren Jackson Jr. more at the power forward position than the center position. I think it's close, but I think he gives you slightly more. He's 6'10", badge-wise perfect. You look at 12 Hall of Famers, 8 of them are on the defensive side of the ball. He has an 88 3-ball with one of the better releases in the entire game. If you're not one to love Jiren, I get confused because this card is nearly perfect. If you think there's many better centers in the entire game, newsflash, you're straight up wrong. Jiren is the real deal at the power forward or center position, like the real deal here. And if you don't love Jiren, I genuinely don't know what you're looking at. This card is an absolute stud. 6'10", does everything at an elite level in the game. To me, easy addition here at number 7. You could go even higher. At my number 6, got a guy that also was on the power forward list in Hakeem Olajuwon. Now, the difference between Hakeem and Jiren is pretty simple. Hakeem's a little taller. He's going to be slightly better on the defensive end of the court. Now, when I say slightly better, no, I mean slightly better. It's not by much. Hakeem is going to only be slightly better than Jiren on the floor. So it's not a big deal if you like Jiren over Hakeem. I just slightly prefer Hakeem Olajuwon for my specific squad. With where I'm at currently, in my squads, I do think at the center position, I'd prefer Hakeem. Maybe at the power forward position, Jiren could have the slight edge. At my number 5, we're plugging in Joel Embiid. Now, a lot of people love Joel Embiid. A lot of people would probably have Embiid all the way up at maybe number 3. I don't necessarily love Embiid as much as some other people because I think his release is too baited for me. It's not that smooth. I just don't necessarily like Embiid like some other people on the game do. However, if you like Embiid and you know how to use Embiid, who am I to tell you that Embiid can't play? The card's fine. The card can play and compete at an incredibly high level. And I feel like greening shots he does at a high level as well. To me, it just comes down to this. I don't necessarily love Embiid defensively as much as Hakeem. I probably like Hakeem more. But people like Embiid for a reason. So who am I to tell you guys that Hakeem's better than Embiid when I've not had either of the cards? At my number 4, we're plugging in Dark Matter Shaq. Now, I know what a lot of people are going to say. Ty, you're just putting Shaq low because, he's a dark matter and not super attainable. And you know what? You're probably right. But at the same token, look where I put Patrick Ewing. Like, guys was baited in bad releases. I'm not going to sit up here and hype up just because, they're a dark matter, so they've got to be good. Man, forget that. I could care less if a card's a dark matter or not. Shaq's fine. He's got the best badges in the game. He's got the best defense in the game. Who am I to tell you guys that Shaq can't play on this game? Shaq's fine to play. Absolutely. You can't tell me that Shaq's bad. But it's just like, I think offensively, he's going to struggle a little bit shooting the basketball. So if you've got dark matter Shaq, and I'm going to say this with all due respect, if you got dark matter Shaq, I got 2 words for you. Maybe 3. Depends. I'm sorry. Because you spent how much money getting this dark matter card who's not even a top 3 center right now in the game? I'm sorry. Yes, defensively, Shaq's a beast. I get all that. I do. But on the offensive side of the ball, his inability to shoot the basketball definitely hurts him more than a lot of people want to admit. Yes, defensively, he's a beast. If you play him at power forward, you can. But again, he can't shoot, so that leaves a lot to be desired. At my number 3, we're plugging in Pink Diamond, Kristaps Porzingis, Tingus Pingus. A lot of people might argue Kristaps is number 2. I've got him at number 3. I'll tell you why. As far as shooting the ball, as far as offensively, he's the second best offensive big in the entire game. His release is fantastic. His 3 ball is incredible. He can shoot over people kind of similar to Wemby. Not quite as crazy, but he can shoot over people kind of like Victor Wembanyama. If you get KP, especially maybe with some extra defensive Hall of Famers, you've got a stud at the center position. You got a card that I can't really hate whatsoever. You've got Kristaps Porzingis, an absolute beast on this game, coming in at my number 2. The sad part is I cannot put him over David Robinson. And people hate on David Robinson. I don't. What is there to hate on, guys? He's 7-1. If you get his release down, which now I've got D-Rob's release down. You get his release down. He's got hot spots from 3 out of 5 plays around the arc. He plays incredibly good defense. I don't know why people hate on D-Rob. I honestly think a lot of the reason is because they can't figure out his release. And I will give people the fact that, yes, his release is somewhat tough to figure out. It is. But once you get his release down, it's smooth. It's silky. You should never miss with David Robinson. And honestly, if you're missing with this card at this stage, it is your fault. You need to figure it out. I could hate on 2K so much. But at the end of the day, they gave us David Robinson this season for free. And so that's one thing I can't entirely hate on, is the fact that they actually gave us a good level 40 reward in David Robinson. So if you got D-Rob, you've got the second best center in the game. And there's no reason to, think you need Shaq, think you need anybody else. D-Rob can absolutely hold it down at that center position. And coming in as my best center right now in NBA 2K25 MyTEAM, it is Victor Wembanyama by a pretty wide margin. The difference between Wemby and D-Rob is pretty large. And I don't even like saying that because I personally don't love Victor Wembanyama's stats. But the fact of the matter is this. He's 7'4". He can shoot over everybody. Defensively, he's an absolute menace. I mean, look, I've personally never got the chance to use Victor Wembanyama. I don't care. Like, I know what the card does because when he plays against me, he's an absolute problem. But the thing about it is, this Wemby isn't even the most complete card. I mean, only a 79 speed, not even a high 3-ball. Defensively leaves a lot to be desired. The moment we get Galaxy Opal Wemby, the moment the game is over, genuinely. The moment that card comes, we are in trouble for the future of this game. So that's what's to note with Victor Wembanyama. He is the best center right now in NBA 2K25 MyTEAM, but I don't want you guys thinking you need the card. You do not need Victor Wembanyama to play and have success on this game. You just don't. If you want him, you could absolutely have him and use him, but it's not a 1.5 million card worth, or coin worth it. It's not. Save your MT, run D-Rob, run a guy like Jaren Jackson Jr., Jack Sigma for free if you got him, and you are going to have a lot of success on this game. That's going to wrap it up for my video. Let me know your thoughts on my top 10 ranking system down below in the comments. Who was I too high on? Who was I too low on? Who did I leave off the list that you guys would have included? Drop a like on the video, subscribe. As always, man, I love you guys. Have a blessed day.